Another Nintendo Switch. Switch you over to the microscope and we'll show you what's going on. I guess I have a light on so you can see. Yep, we have some problems in there. Let's see if I can get that started up for you. Alright, so same routine as always. We will disassemble. We will remove the port because there's no point in testing at all until that port's removed. All those pins are touching. So they will definitely affect the readings. So we'll remove the port, then we'll do our testing and see if it did any collateral damage and go from there. We've gotten the board out of the housing. Like I said, there's no point in doing any testing at this point because we have pins touching in the port that will definitely affect our measurements. So switch you over to the microscope. Actually, I'm going to switch you over to the temps while I turn on my equipment, and then we'll go over to the microscope. These are the temps I expect to use. They're not ever set in stone. I may have to call an audible in the middle of the repair if something additional needs to be done. But as expected temps. We are going to do what we always do. We are going to flood everything with low melt, or flood the port with low melt, rather. Everything we can see on it, and go from there. Okay, looks like a good pull. Throw that aside. Make sure we have no bridging going on the pins over here. We do, so we need to clear those. Okay, everything else looks clear. Flip the board. Okay, connect our meter. We are prepared for some testing. Okay, we'll start here around the M92T36. What we want to check first is this Pi 3 USB capacitor. It's tied to Pi 3 USB. Okay, it is showing short, so we very likely have a Pi 3 issue. Let's check and see if we have any other further issues. Checking signals. The way you tell the signals on this device is you can see the lines going to the chip. Now if it has two lines coming from one capacitor, one side will be ground, but none of the ones with single should be grounded. Okay, this one has two signals, so one will be ground. Alright, everything looks good around M92 other than the Pi cap. I'm going to check around our MOSFETs. Seems fine. Well, filter seems fine. Check our fuse. The invincible fuse. Well, it was invincible for a while. Oh wow, we definitely had some port damage here. Alright, I'm going to check our test pads. Make sure I'm on screen for you. This one should be ground. None of these should be. Okay, we'll check around the BQ24193 now. Very good. Everything seems fine there. And that one should be ground. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. And now we know we have a Pi 1.3. I'm sorry, Pi 3, not Pi 1.3. a Pi 3 USB issue. So let's check everything around it. You have another filter issue? Second one today. Alright, so we have a filter issue for sure. Want these to be continuous straight through, not side to side. Yeah, half this filter is gone, so let's find ourselves a ground. Check our, yeah. So this is the signal side for the Pi 3 USB capacitor, and it is shorted to ground. This is the ground side, so it is not the capacitor that is short, it's the chip. Okay, so we gotta change the filter and the Pi 3. So we might as well do that. First we're going to remove the Pi 3 and make sure that that short gets relieved. If not, then anything else is academic. Alright, let's check and make sure our short has disappeared. Right on ground. Very good. Very good. It has disappeared. So we'll go ahead and put a new filter and a new Pi 3 on. Okay, very good. Beautiful. Let's take a gander at our soldering job. We're going to get rid of that blob there. We'll use a Pico pencil to do that. That blob is probably short of something. There we go. Pretty simple. And very good. All right. We'll get to soldering the port. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's good enough for a test. We'll clean it all thoroughly later. Let's just make sure we're getting function like we expect. Okay, that looked about right. Alright, that looked about right as well. So no additional tests needed there. We will clean up off screen and use the air compressor, and then we'll put it back in the housing and perform enough to perform some tests and go from there. Okay, we're prepared to do another test with the known good battery. So let's plug it in. I'm going to switch you over here so you can actually follow along. All right. Full battery symbol. And booting back up. Beautiful. Full touch. Flip it around. Make sure we're charging on the other side as well. And we're recognizing it. And fast charging. Super. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is reassemble. Let it charge on its own battery for a little bit. At least enough to get booted up, about 5 or 10% charge. That can take a while though, if it's completely dead. So we'll let it charge, and then we'll perform some more additional tests like the dock test and the Joy-Cons and all that. Alright, we'll be back. Okay, it's been a little while. We're up to about 16%. Grab my Joy-Cons. Actually, they had their own Joy-Cons. I don't know why I'm grabbing mine. Alright, switch you over here. You can follow along. Recognizing one. Recognizing two. And working on charging both now. They're both pretty low, so. Alright. Make sure we pick up our settings. I'm sorry, our networks. And we're picking up all the networks. Great. Alright, grab my game. Alright. Picked it right up. Very good. I was a little worried because it looked like there was a little bit of liquid damage around the card reader, but it seems to be working fine. That's good. Alright, next thing to do is just set up the dock, and we'll do a dock test, and we'll go from there. Okay, and as you can see in the top left, it is docking and charging, so everything is good. That's going to be it for this repair. Okay, in summary, we had a badly mangled port with pins crossing each other and shorting to each other to various different signals and power lines. We had to remove the port before we could do any testing, so that's what we did. We disassembled, removed the port, began our tests. We immediately found a short on the Pi 3 USB cap near M92T36. Flipped it over. We also, in testing that area, once we pulled the board and testing that area, we also found a filter, that dual filter that one side was out on, so we had to change that. We changed the Pi 3 USB, which will relieve the shorts. We changed the filter. We put a new port on. Everything's charging, everything's docking, and everything seems to be working fine. That's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions about the equipment I used in this video, take a look in the description below. If you like this video, do me a favor and hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, maybe the notification bell, and you'll know when I post videos, which is about twice a week at this point. So that's really all I had to ask of you. See you next time.